Welcome to Lead with Clarity. This is a space for leaders who want to grow without losing themselves in the process. Each episode is a short reflection on leadership, influence, and the inner work that shapes how we show up for others. It's not hype, not noise, just clear thinking for the journey of leading well. Today's episode is entitled The Way You Carry It, Rethinking Load, Pressure, and Sustainable Leadership. Here we go. There's a question I come back to with a lot of leaders that I work with. It's not how much are you handling, but how are you handling it? Those are two very different conversations. Most of us were trained to measure leadership by output, by endurance, by how much we can carry. But that framing misses something critical. And today I want to talk about what it actually costs when we get this wrong. Holtz said it plainly. He said, "It's not the load that breaks you down, it's the way you carry it." He's not talking about reducing the weight. He's talking about changing the relationship that you have with it. I was working with a senior leader a few years back, running a division, managing a large team, navigating a significant organizational transition. On paper, everything looked like it was holding together. Behind the scenes, she was white-knuckling every single day. She wasn't struggling because her job was hard. It was hard. But she had been treating every decision, every escalation, every team challenge as something that only she could resolve. She had turned leadership into a solo sport. What we did wasn't reduce her responsibilities. We changed the architecture of how she held them, who she delegated to and why, when she closed her laptop, how she talked to herself at the end of a difficult day. The load didn't shrink, her posture changed, and that changed everything. Here is where a lot of leaders get this wrong. They hear a quote like Holtz's and they think it's about mental toughness. Grit it out, push through, reframe your attitude. That's not what this is about. Attitude adjustment without structural change is just suffering with a better story about it. If you're carrying too much with no support, no delegation, and no recovery built in, the problem isn't how you're thinking. The problem is how your system is designed. Framing it as a mindset issue lets the structure off the hook. The real question Holtz is pointing to is this. Are you carrying the load strategically, or are you just enduring it? Strategic carrying looks like knowing what is actually yours to hold versus what you're holding out of habit, fear, or misplaced obligation. It looks like recovery built into the week, not wedged in when something cancels. It looks like naming what you're under clearly and honestly before it names you. And it looks like modeling that for your team. Because if you are visibly overwhelmed all the time, you're teaching your people that this is what leadership requires. That's the culture you're building. Before you move on today, I want you to sit with one question. Not a big one, but just this. What are you carrying right now that doesn't actually require you to carry it? Not what should you delegate, not what should you drop, just what's in your hands that could be held differently. That's the starting point. Holtz understood something most leadership frameworks don't spend enough time on. The weight of leadership is real, and it is constant. You don't get to put it down often, but you do get to choose your posture. You get to decide whether you carry it with intention or carry it by default. Sustainable leadership is not about handling more. It's about handling what you have in a way that keeps you whole, that keeps you present, that keeps you effective, not just this week, but over the long arc of your career and your life. That is the discipline, and it is worth practicing.